Disappointing. That's how I would describe the SEC. Disappointing. You did. You had the Auburn win over Baylor. Ka-chow. Bang. But Alabama, big mighty Alabama, they're so back. Not really. They lost to Florida State, who was 2-10 last year, by the way. Reese Davis said he's not ranking Alabama in his AP poll this week. Texas loses, and ESPN's FPI still has the number one. Funny. Texas A&M looks god-awful against UTSA. Touchdown here, touchdown there. Georgia couldn't cover against Marshall. Kentucky couldn't cover against Toledo. You were an SEC. Well, they're the best team in the MAC. All right, Daryl. Daryl from Southern Indiana, who's rooted for Kentucky his entire life. Yeah, they're the best team in the MAC. Aren't you in the SEC? 41-14 you lost to Louisville. And then this is your 8-point victory against Toledo, which you want to hang your hat on. Shout out Ole Miss. At least Ole Miss looked good. But they're going to lose to Kentucky on the road this week and further prove the SEC isn't a blender. I was not impressed. I was not impressed by how Tennessee couldn't effectively close out the game. I was not impressed with a majority of what I saw out of the Southeastern Conference this weekend. And again, Auburn beat Baylor. Guess what? And this is really bad news for most of the, and LSU could win the national championship. I'll give you like two or three of these teams are so good. You can't all be bad. But let's be very clear here. Auburn being one of the better teams in the SEC is not a good thing for you. Well, we beat the Big 12. Yeah, you beat Baylor in a fairly in kind of not a great atmosphere. And honestly, the Bears just didn't look like one of the elite Big 12 teams. Plenty of other teams in the Big 12 looked good. Baylor was not one of them. What, you want to hang your head on Auburn? The SEC is the best conference in college football. We can't go to the national championship, but at least Auburn's good now. I don't think so. You can't get away with that. Let's go to the ACC, where Stanford's losing to Hawaii. Why are we even going to the ACC? You have the greatest NFL coach of all time in your conference. And you lined him up against a kid from Rockwall Heath and Sonny Dykes. I can only imagine how good Tom Brady would have been if Sonny Dykes had been his NFL coach. And yeah, Miami's good. I think Georgia Tech's good, but the same thing. If you are the ACC and you want to hang your hat, SMU did not look good against East Texas A&M, by the way. If you want to hang your hat, Florida State beat Alabama, and now the entire country is going, well, it's fluke because Alabama sucks. If you want to hang your hat, sorry, here I go, on Georgia Tech being good. Well, the ACC is good because Georgia Tech's good. It's the exact same thing as the SEC going, well, we're good. Well, we're good because Auburn's good. That doesn't equate to much. It doesn't give you much on the national scale. It doesn't mean that you're an elite conference. It doesn't mean you look better. Wake Forest 10, Kennesaw State 9. I mean, here's the deal. A win is a win. I'll credit you that. But the ugly nature of a lot of these games, Virginia beating Coastal Carolina was maybe the most impressive thing the ACC did. Cal winning, people forget that Cal is an ACC school. But then 48-14 on your showcase America's watching game, Kirk Herbstreit's dog puts the headset on. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to say? It wasn't good. It wasn't good. The Big Ten. Let's pick on you. You're not. We'll get to the Pac-12 in a second. The Big Ten. Rutgers, 34. Ohio, 31. Well, they're one of the best teams in the MAC, so again, we're going to go back to the Kentucky thing. If you are looking at me and saying that your 23-10 win, Minnesota over Buffalo, your 17-0 win, Miami of Ohio losing to Wisconsin, that those are something you're going to bolster your conference with because they are the best teams in the MAC. 20-17 over Cincinnati. Cincinnati, you know what they are? One of the best teams in the MAC. You know, like that's congrats. What do you want from me? Really poor showing on a night where the Big Ten got to be at the front of college football on a Thursday night where nobody else was really playing except for Big Ten schools. Everyone's watching you and hapless Boise State. And Boise State didn't look good. Boise State may be bad this year. I think you have to accept that you may also be bad this year. The Big 12, I put the Big 12 power rankings up earlier. Iowa State, TCU, Utah, BYU, Texas Tech, Arizona State. Like, let's just take those 6 schools. That is 6 of the most impressive schools you can take from week 1 that have staying power. They're not like, oh, well, Guess who had a dominant win this weekend? Illinois over Western Illinois. Oh, Michigan State, slowed down Western Michigan. This is not a battle of, hey, our sucky teams are doing well. In the Big 12, our schools that were pretty much consensus top 6 or 7 going into the league are all good. Like Baylor wasn't a top 4 or 5 team for a lot of people. We don't need Baylor to win for the Big 12 to be solid because we have so many brands that have carried good football for an extended period of time. Iowa State has been a top 10 team. TCU has been to a national championship. Utah's been a top 10 team. BYU has been a top 10 team. Arizona State went to the college football playoff, and Texas Tech just spent $17 billion on football. That's what I think is setting the Big 12 apart right now. From Michigan barely beating New Mexico. From Indiana beating Old Dominion by 13. That's what from Northwestern scoring 3 points against Tulane, who may be the best team in the Sun Belt, or the American, or the Conference USA, whatever they're in this year. Yeah, you had maybe the worst quarterback performance in college football history against an FCS school. Like, of all the teams that have played FCS schools, this may be the worst thing you could ever do, and it was Iowa against UAlbany. Iowa was scared to throw the football against UAlbany, and then Utah, 43-10, beat UCLA, who could end up winning the ACC this year. Like UCLA could end up being in the top 3 or 4 of the ACC, and your crown jewel Clemson lost, if I may remind you, at home in a huge matchup. Well, they ran down the hill. They rode the bus. They ran down the hill. Yeah, they did those. Overall, just needed to get on the soapbox, take everybody to church for a second, because you thought you were good. But dog, we got like 5 or 6 guys. We rolled deep in the Big 12, and I just don't think the rest of America is really rolling deep right now. You don't get it. You wish you got it, but you don't get it. Coming up, Gary Patterson's going to join my show. Today's program is brought to you by FanDuel. When I knew the ACC sucked, I went to FanDuel. I said, FanDuel, hey, yo, can I have 250 of my finest dollars on TCU to cover? They said, sure, dog. And the second TCU covered, I got money. Right now, new customers can bet $5. If your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. That's right. I love using FanDuel because it's you can just kind of go in and do whatever. Like first quarter under, check, can be done. Makes the game way more exciting. Whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup, you can do all of it at FanDuel. You ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet in hopes of winning $300. That's a lot of dollars, dog. $300 in free plays at FanDuel. It's right there for you. Go to FanDuel.com. Do it today. Today's show is also brought to you by Game Time. I run on Game Time. College football's back. Couldn't be more excited. The tailgates, the rivalries. I want to go. I want to go see BYU. I want to go see Utah. I want to see the Holy War. I'm not buying tickets yet. Why am I not buying tickets? Because Game Time, 30 minutes before the game, is going to be, yo, we got some, maybe even as low as $25. The app makes it super simple. I can even see the exact view from the seat that I want every week. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Promo code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off. Swipe, tap, go, ticket, download Game Time today. That is Game Time.